ॐ ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं वदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो नमः मण्डूकमहर्षे गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय आदिशङ्करद्गुरवे अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गतमाण्डूक्योपनिषत् शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ अलातशान्त्याख्य चतुर्थ प्रकरणम् ओम salutations to the Lord, the entire Guru Parampara. Take this Alatha Shanti Prakaranam, chant the 80th mantra onwards, 80 and 81. निवृत्तस्य प्रवृत्तस्य निश्चला हि तदा स्थितिः विषयः स हि बुद्धानां तत्साम्यमजमद्वयम् अजम् अनिद्रम् अस्वप्नं प्रभातं भवति स्वयं सकृत् विभातो हि एव एषः धर्मो धातु स्वभावतः. Now we are repeatedly studying these shlokas and artha because they are so essential and important for the spiritual unfoldment. So, what are the sadhanas mentioned in mantra 82? Nivrittasya and apravrittasya. What is the result that comes as nischalahi tadastitihi of the chitta? That nischalata of the chitta is what? Samyam ajam advayam. This is called as Samya Aja Advaya Sthiti of Mukti or Brahmanubhuti. Who can do that? Vishaya Sahi Buddhanam. Only those who are very highly evolved, awakened, wise people. And what is the wisdom of these awakened, wise people? This is what is the wisdom. Ki entire world is there in the pravrutti only. Okay. The moment we reduce our pravrittis, from wherever we are reducing our pravritti, that type of world disappears from us. And this pravritti is of chitta pravritti. How the chitta pravritti? Only because of agraha. That agraha is technically called as abhinivesha. Because of the abhinivesha, the agraha which we have is making the chitta do the pravritti. Remember, because of that, three things are happening. One, chitta is existing. Second, because of the pravritti, the abhasas are appearing. Third, because we are caught up in the abhasa, the real self is hidden. The one who knows this is called as Buddha. Then, with this knowledge that the mithya jagat is binding me, with the knowledge that Sat Vastu Anubhava liberates me, then with the knowledge that Sat is already there, nothing to do to gain that, and with the knowledge that this Mithya Jagat I have to reject it, I have to eliminate it, and the elimination happens by these two sadhanas. The one who knows it very thoroughly and does those sadhanas very efficiently, he is called as Buddha. And what are the two sadhanas? Nivritta and Apravritta. Remember these two words. Nivritta from the present, Apravritta in the past and future. Of what? Of the things, of the beings, of the happenings, of the experiences, of all kala, desha and vastu, vyakti, whatever it may be. In सबके प्रति माइंड से हमें निवृत्त होना है और नए में प्रवृत्त नहीं होना है. Then the mind and the thoughts of the mind, which is actually the Jagata, that dissolves. And that Paramatma who was covered because of this is discovered. And the discovery of Paramatma se pehle, because of Nivrutti and Apravrutti, first stage achieved is Nischala hi tata sthiti. Kasya sthiti? Chittasya. चित्त का स्थिति निश्चल होगा. That nischala chitta is no more chitta. It is Paramatma. And that Paramatma is the one about whom we are talking from the first mantra of this Upanishad, first prakarana onwards, again and again. And three words mainly we are using for him: Ajam, Advayam, Samyam. Tat Samyam, Ajam, Adhyam. Samyam is Sama. There is no Vishamata. As I told you, the Vishamata is of what? The triputi of experiencer, experienced, and experiencing. So Ajam means unborn, unmodifying, undecaying, unbecoming old, undying. Advayam is one without second. They're all actually one thing only, but put in three words to deny the three things which are making the world. World is Vishama. Remember, what is the Vishamata in the world? There are three things. What are the three? Experiencer, me, experience do, and experiencing. Here in Karikas, experiencer and experienced both are mentioned. Obviously, the third is not mentioned, but it is accepted, understood. When I am the experiencer, when it is experienced, contact gives experience, वो तो anyway है. So दो के रूप में बताया कि ग्राहक ग्राह्य. That is the Vishamata which is making the Jagat. So in the Paramatma, the Vishamata of the Grahya, Grahaka, Grahaka and Graha is creation of Jagat. With the study of these Upanishad Karikas up to this level, up to this point we have to be convinced about. What is that? Jagat is nothing but Grahaka Grahya. Grahaka Grahya is the imaginary expression because the Vishamata that is induced in the Sama Paramatma. Because of our ignorance, because of our wrong habits, because of our vasanas, because of our insistences, आप कुछ भी उनका आप कारण कर दो. By eliminating all the karanas, when these two are eliminated, then the Vishamata goes away, Samya Sthiti comes. Remember, Samya is Paramatma, Vishama is Jagatu. In the Jagat, Triputi are there, in Paramatma, they are not there. Samyam, it is explained now. Samya Anubhav it is. There's no thing other than me for me to experience. So I experience myself only. I am the experiencer, I am the experience to do. I told you 1 year back, if you remember the example, after that, knowing the truth and experiencing it, when he uses upadhis and looks at the world, how the world is experienced by him is like these two examples of I experience the reflection in the mirror, or I see my own pictures in the album. है ना? You see the reflection in the mirror, but million times you may see the reflection in the mirror. Not even once you feel that the reflected person is other than me. Not even once. Every time when I see it, I experience it is me only. But actually, a mirror is different, reflection is different, I am different. When you understand, analyze. But the anubhava is always it is me. So therefore, because of the upadhi of the mirror, though it is a pratibimba, but the anubhava is it is me. Is it not? So to the entire world is nothing but my own reflection in the mirror called as my own antakarana. That is the experience. So to the album. You may browse through 100 pages. In every page, the photo will be of different. You are 70 years aged now. In your album, your pictures are there from the age of 6 months, 4 months. तब से लेकर के आपके सारे hundreds of photos होंगे वहाँ. All types. कभी कीचड़ में गिरे हैं, दलदल में फंसे हैं, कि नीचे गिर गए हैं, साइकिल से गिर गए हैं, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, या आपको लड़की के तरह तैयार करके रखे हैं, या इट में भी दुल्हन के रूप में है, दूल्हा के रूप में घोड़े पे बैठे हैं. You can have all pictures in a party with suit, boot, coat, in a playground with a different dress. How many photographs you see? Na? And the hairstyle changes. Full hairstyle is one. Then slowly white hairstyle. Then in that black hair colored style. Then no hair is the ultimate style. But in each of the photo, though it is a paper, अनुभव is me. और कोई उस एल्बम को गाली देते हैं या उसको फाड़ते हैं, योर ओन हार्ट विल बी डिस्टर्ब्ड. मेरे दिल को तुमने दुखाया. नो, इट्स अ पेपर यार, इज अलग. दैट्स ओके, बट एक्सपीरियंस इज नॉट. इट इज मेरा फोटो, मैं हूं उसमें. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, टू एग्जाम्पल, ए ज्ञान इज एक्सपीरियंस ऑल्सो इज लाइक दैट. सो ही, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ साम्य अवस्था. At the time of sadhana kala, the samyata is by removing vishamata. What is creating vishamata? Pravrutti. So we are doing nivrutti from the present and apravrutta in the past and future. Therefore, the whole cause of the vishamata is gone away. Samata is prevailing. In that samata anubhava, I alone am there. There is no dichotomy. After experiencing that, even if I use upadhi and see the world, it's like reflection of mirror, reflection of the myself in the album. So all is me. All is one, that one is me. That is the meaning of Samyam. Ajam. Ajam means what? The causeless eternal existence. I am not caused by anyone. I am Ajam. And because I am not cause of anyone, there is no cause for me, I am independent. So too, I am not cause of anything. There is nothing other than me. That is the experience will come. Ajam. These are the words again and again used in this Upanishad to define that state of that being. And there is the third thing is Advayama. Because I am not the cause of anything, I have never become anything. There is nothing other than me. By saying Ajam, I have no cause. By saying Advayam, I am not the cause for anything. And by saying Samyam, there is no dichotomy of experiencer and experience. Do. That Anubhava will come to me. That is called Samyam Ajamatu. And who will do that? Buddhanam. Vishaya say Buddhanam. Vishaya say Buddhanam, that is the possibility for a very highly evolved person. And those who are not Buddha, those are Buddhu, what is their state of mind? So much they are interested in the Vishayas of the world, and also he has an experience. His entire life is through the Indriya Buddhi, wanting to experience the gross and subtle worlds only, as a Vishwata is. And when he tired of that, he goes into sleep, only to wake up with freshness, again to indulge in the Vishamata. He is Buddhu number one. But through study, through Viveka, Vairagya, when he understood it's all unreal, taken as real, getting bound because of that, I want to get rid of that, this is the technique. The one who knows all this is called Buddha. So we are all being made Buddha in all these satsangas of Upanishads and all other classes. So nivrittasya apravrittasya nischalahi tadastitihi hi tadastitihi vishaya sai buddhanam tatu samyam ajam advayam. That's the explanation of this mantra. Puna abhi kidrusha chasa buddhanam vishaya. That experience of these Buddhas, the awakened people, the truth and self, how it is like, can you explain? I cannot explain it directly, but I can explain it to you in contrast with what experiences you and I at the stage of non-mukti we are going through. मुक्ति परमात्मा का अनुभव मिलने से पहले जो अनुभव हो रहा है हमको, उस दृष्टि से कॉन्ट्रास्ट में हम बताते हैं आपको. What is that? अजमनिद्रम स्वप्नम प्रभातम भवति स्वयं सकृत विभातो हि एव एषः धर्मो धातु स्वभावतः. That experience is what? Ajam, Anidram, Aswapnam. Ajam, Anidram, Aswapnam. By saying Ajam, it is not waking. By saying Anidram, it is not sleep. By saying Aswapnam, it is not a dream. So all the three planes are because of the Upadis, the Maya, the Trigunas. And the one, be attentive, who is conditioned by these three gunas of the Maya as Upadi, who goes through those three planes of experience of Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, he is called Samsari. He is called Ajnani. He is called a Jiva. And that Jiva in these three planes is called Vishwataya Saprajna, Technically in Sanskrit, wake or dreamer and deep sleeper in the English language. He is जीव. तो जीव के ये तीन अनुभव अवस्थाएं हैं, तीन उपाधियों के कारण, तीन गुणों से. So the sthula sharira is upadhi, sattva is the guna, jagrati is avastha. Sukshma sharira is upadhi, rajoguna is the guna, swapna is the avastha. Then karana sharira is upadhi, tamo is the guna, then nidra is the avastha. For whom? Jiva. But he is the one, the Purusha Paramatma in the discussion now in the context is beyond all these three. Now, as we listen it again and again, in us the conviction about the presence of a state of being which is beyond Jiva Bhava, which is beyond Vishwadesa Prajna, which is beyond Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, which is beyond Sattvarajastugama Gunatmika Maya, we have to start believing in the presence of that. And that is our essential nature. Tat Tvam Asi. That is called Brahma, and that Brahma is Aham Asmi, that Anubhava has to come. For that the Upasana is Ayamatma Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Upasana Dhyana. That is called as a mantra, Mahavakya of this Upanishad, Ayamatma Brahma. So clear? Ajam Anidram Aswapnam. Then how that is experienced? Do not need of any upadhi, because Swayam Prabhatam Bhavati. Prabhatam Bhavati Swayam. It reveals because it is Prakasha Swarupa by itself. And what is that thing? That is me only. That me, how I know? You know that me, you don't need any other means. Because that me is not only you, but that is self-effulgent. That effulgence reveals itself to itself. वो मेरे को, वो और रूपी मेरे को जानने के लिए मुझे और कोई माध्यम की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि वो मैं ही हूं और मैं प्रकाश स्वरूप. दैट्स कॉल्ड एज प्रभातम भवति स्वयं. No other thing is required to illuminate it. Like you need torch to show the things in the dark night. But what do you need to know? Show the torch. What do you need to show the? No need, because it is Prakasha Swarup. But here the torch being other than me, my eyes, very healthy eyes, are required to see the light of torch. But in this is in the example, the limitation. But in the self, that Prakasha Swarupa Atma जो स्वयं प्रकाश है, वो मैं ही हूँ. इसलिए मैं ही मेरे स्वरूप प्रकाश होने के कारण अपने आप को मैं के रूप में जानता हूं. दिस इज अ वे द लैंग्वेज कैन बी यूज्ड. In whatever the way the shabdas are used, all the shabdas are only indicators. Through the indicator, when you reach the experience, experience is beyond all these explanations. घूम फिरा के यही बताना पड़ेगा, मैं चैतन्य स्वरूप होने के कारण उस चैतन्य स्वरूप के रोशनी में मैं खुद ही, जो मेरा स्वरूप चैतन्य है, उसको मैं जानता हूँ. मुझे अपने आप को जानने के लिए और किसी की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि स्वयं प्रभातम भवति. दिस इज मीनिंग ऑफ सेकंड लाइन. अजम अनिद्रम स्वप्नम प्रभातम भवति स्वयं. थर्ड, दिस स्वभाव ऑफ चैतन्यता कब से है, किस कारण से है? सकृत विभातः भवति एव एषः. Eva. Sakrut vibhata bhavati means from the time immemorial, eternal, it is always of the nature of Prakasha Swarupa only. Are, how come it is? Eshaha dhatu swabhavata tasya dharma. It is a swabhava and dharma of the Atma Vastu to be of the Chaitanya Swarupa. ये ना कभी स्टार्ट हुआ, ना किसी कारण से हुआ, ना उसको दिखाने के लिए और किसी की जरूरत नहीं है. वो, और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, वो मेरे से अलग नहीं है, मैं ही वो हूं. So all the questions regarding the Atma, that who shows it, who sees it, how it looks like, if it is a Prakasha Sarupa, where from the Prakasha started, whence it started, all of them are answered in this mantra. So who sees it? I am the seer. Who shows it? Meaning I only see myself. How is it seen and why is it seen? Because it is the Prakasha Swarupa. Where from the Prakasha came to it? From nowhere, it is its own nature. From whence it has started? From the unquestionable time, it is always there. And what is the relation between you and that? That is you. जो भी प्रश्न पूछते हो आप, इसका इसका ऐसे ही जवाब होता है. So I discover and establish myself in my nature, which is Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa. I don't need anybody to tell. And that Chaitanya of me has not come from anywhere else. And it is never ending also. द चेतना है इसलिए उसका हैपन को भी बोलोगे आप तो उसको कहते हैं अस्तित्व. So I am existing as pure conscious self. That experience will come. That doesn't come in the purview of the words, in the purview of the thoughts of the intellect to explain. That's अनुभूति. अनुभूति हो गए तो काफी है ना. एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Like how I enjoyed my meal. You have an experience enough. You need not explain because explain करो या ना करो अनुभूति का वो कोई बिगाड़ता नहीं, कोई ऐड नहीं करता. Is it not? I am happy that an experience is independent of words or thoughts. Whether I put it in words and convince you or not, I am happy. उसके लिए कोई माध्यम की जरूरत थोड़ी है. That is the load of this mantra. Ajam anidram aswapnam swava prabhatam bhavati swayam sakrut vibhata hi evaha eshaha dharmaha dhatu swabhavataha. उस आत्म वस्तु का स्वभाव धर्म ही प्रकाश स्वरूप है. वो प्रकाश और कहीं से आया नहीं है, इसलिए वो स्वयं प्रकाश है. इसलिए उसको जानने का कोई दूसरे की जरूरत नहीं है सपोर्ट का. अब वो मैं हूं. और उसका और एक भाव में एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या है? दैट इज अजम अद्वयम देन अजम अनिद्रम अस्वप्नम. सेम थिंग सेड इन द अर्लियर मंत्र है साम्यम अजम अद्वयम. Samyam Ajamatam is direct meaning. Ajama Nidram Swapnam is the meaning in contrast with Jagar Swapna Sushupti. ऐसा एक स्थिति है. On the basis of that only, the Samashti and Vesti are appearing. On the basis of that only, in the Samashti and Vesti, Stula Sukshma Karana are appearing. And in the Stula Sukshma Karana, the multitude is appearing. And the mutual interaction, reaction, action, attachment, detachment, fighting, whatever are there, all that are happening on the substratum that only. Because of the ignorance. And this is binding us. So, my ignorance of myself causing my creation of the my jagat and getting bound in my jagat is giving me the dukkha. Therefore, when I discover myself to be one without second, in that wisdom of myself, there is nothing other than me called as samashti or vesti, etc., to frighten me, to threaten me, to bind me, as well as they are not required even also for me to become happy because I am already happy. World in front of us is two ways related by us. One, it gives me sukha. Second, it gives me dukkha. That will be actually the next sloka. Unknowingly, we have given the introduction also. It never gives me dukkha, it never gives me sukha. Dukkha, it never gives me because it's not there as other than me. Sukha, it never gives me because I myself am sukha swarup. कोई चीज होना चाहिए ना, कोई बंदा हमको दुखी करने के लिए. ऐसी जगत जो दिख रही थी वो तो असत्य है पता चला तो दुखी देगा नहीं हमको. और मैं खुद ही आनंद स्वरूप हूं, इसलिए मुझे उसकी जरूरत नहीं सुख देने के लिए. So neither the jagat of dukkhatmaka nor sukhatmaka are there or required or possible. I am that blissful self, conscious self. Now these words, how many hundreds of times we have to listen to get registered in our intellect. And how many times we have to become single-pointedly deep in contemplation to accept its validity. And how long we have to try to live that life outside and inside in the meditational seat to eliminate all this very familiar world of multiplicity and reach to that. This struggle is called Adhyatmik Sadhana in the Jnana Marga. Very tough it is. But then when you are inspired by the goal, no toughness will be an obstruction for us. Let it be tough. We will pursue, we will reach out. That inspiration will be there if you love that goal. And it should be loved because the promising result of reaching it is what? All the bandhanas of all sorts will get eliminated once for all. That's what we were studying just now in Telugu Vishnu Sahama. Sarva dukkhatikaha bhavetu. Janma samsar bandhanat muchyate. सकृत विभातो हि एव एषः धातु धर्म स्वभावतः. धातु स्वभावतः हो गया. Now comes the next mantra. We have explained that also, but some more we'll see with Bhashya. Mantra we explained. Bhashya we did not see. What is that? First avatarika. Evam uchyamanam api paramartha tattvam. In this way, hundreds and thousands of times, the Paramartha Tattva is being taught by the experienced Guru to the disciples. Kasmat Laukika Hina Gruhyate. Why the Laukika people are not listening to it, understanding it, Understanding the glory of it, accepting it, not practicing it, not experiencing it. Why is it happening? Iti uchyate. That's what is explained. Now, this mantra 82 is a very essential, like every of the mantra, we are trying to analyze it in all angles possible. All means at least whatever is possible to us. Some more sublime things may be there behind them. When we evolve in our own sadhana, maybe after 10 years, we may get revealed out of them. बट यहाँ भी इस लेवल में हम इस श्लोक का पूरा डिसेक्शन करके समझने का प्रयत्न हर एक का जो कर रहे थे वैसे इसका भी करेंगे. So what is the mantra? First of all, sukham avriyate nityam, dukkham vivriyate sada, yasya kasya cha dharmasya grahena bhagavan asau. Sukham avriyate nityam, dukkham vivriyate sada, yasya kasya cha dharmasya grahena bhagavan asau. Now it has very many levels of explanation, this mantra. First, to remove the doubt or fear, literal simple meaning we say. Then the Bhashyakara's deep meaning. Very enchanting it is. If you have that concentration power to listen, desire to know it, and apply our intellect, both masala और मजेदार मसाला हमको इन श्लोकों के अर्थ से मिलता है even while understanding. That understanding, when it becomes conviction and we practice it, when the experience dawns in us, that will be beyond the words only. You can't even imagine how glorious would be that experience. What is the meaning of this shloka? Sada means Hamesha. This Atmamastu, which is in our own self, that self is Sukham Avriyate. Because variety of the Sukha Apekshas, Sukha Prayatnas, Sukha Anubhavas at all levels of Nidra, Jagrat, Sapna, they all are so busily involved by us. Sukham Avriyate, that Sukha Anubhuti easily covering the Atmavastu. And whenever we are thwarted of that sukha, dukkha is coming. Dukkham vivriyate sada. Dukkha is so much attacking us that we are not able to reach to the self. That's how at the bhautika level, at the indriya mana level, because of fully involving in sukha dukkha, coming to us because of the outer world or inner world, we are fully involved in them. This is becoming cover to Atmavastu. इसलिए आत्मवस्तु हमेशा ढका हुआ है, unrevealed hai, we are not able to reach it. Sukham avriyate, dukkham vivriyate. Whenever you get sukha, that sukha is hiding Paramatma. Whenever we are not getting sukha, what is coming to us is dukkha. Dukkha is hiding the Paramatma from us. Therefore, entire life of ours is spent only in removing the dukkha and gaining the sukha. So we remove the dukkha and gain sukha in nidra by the sound sleep. In Swapna by getting a good dreamer. In Jagrada Avastha by getting what we want, convenience, and removing the non-convenient things or beings. So entire life, Sada means Hamesha. हम इसी में फंसे हैं, that becoming the cover to the self. Because of that, we are not able to realize ourself. Sukham avriyate nityam, dukham vivriyate sada. And yasya kasya dharmasya. Yasya kasya dharmasya means what? Of me, the jiva, because of the dharma of these three avasthas. Yasya kasya dharmasya grahena asau bhagavan. Mean this very sublime experience of the self is hidden behind the objects and the jiva because of his involvement in sukha dukkha through his jagra sapna sujupti avasthas. मतलब क्या हुआ? Simple बताएं. So in all the three avasthas, as a jiva, to get the sukha and get out of the dukkha, I am involved in so many of thinkings, decisions, plans, activities. All of that we are involved all the while in every of the life. Therefore, all the time though self is so glorious, still it is hidden. That is why in Gita Kara says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Then only you realize the self. Here the Sarva Dharma means Sarva Jiva Dharma, Sarva Jagra Dharma, Sarva Swapna Dharma, Sarva Sushupti Dharma, Sarva Vishaya Dharma, Sarva Sukha Dharma, Sarva Dukkha Dharma. इन सब को छोड़ो तभी जाकर आत्मा मिलता है. It can, this sloka I can talk for 5-6 days every day in different angles. Like you leave the Jagrat Dharma, you enter into Swapna. You leave the Jagra and Swapna Dharma, we enter into Nidra. We leave the Nidra Dharma, then either we come into Jagrata or Sushupti. But we are in these three only. The fourth one is Turiya Dharma, Atma Dharma. That will be experienced only when we give up these three Dharma. But where is the understanding as to how to give up these three? Where is the effort to give up three? Where is the willingness to give up these three? Where is the desire to give up? Our problem is what? Living in these three avasthas only, we want more and more conveniences to have greater happinesses in them, wider happinesses in them, variety of happinesses in them, long lasting happinesses in them. We don't have the information that there is a state which is more infinite and permanent than this and more blissful than this. हमको जागृत अवस्था में दुख निवारण चाहिए, सुख चाहिए, और सुख लगातार चाहिए, हमेशा चाहिए, हर वस्तु से चाहिए. This is how we are thinking. This is how we are involving in. So too we will go into dream and we need to have wonderful dreams. And in Nidra, we want a sound sleep for a long time. But when we wake up from the Nidra, again in the waking plane, we want Sukha of this Vyakti or that Vastu for this long time in that place for that. अरे यार तुम इसको ही पकड़ के रखे हो, पूरा उसी में फंसे हो. The one who is throughout the day involved in cell phone, status, messages and TV, where will we information also have about there are the Vedanta classes going on? Even if somebody has known it and came to class, while sitting in the class, if somebody's mind is again in what is there in cell phone, who is the one knocking the door, who is the one ringing the bell, जिसका दिमाग उधर है, can he listen to Shastra? If you understand these examples, in the same way, the basic problem is non-information about the presence of truth beyond. Even if the information is given, we are enchanted so much in the Sukha Dukkha of these three worlds that we are not even having an idea of rising above them, giving up them, going beyond them. This is what is covering the Atma. So your question is what? If the self is so evident, so clear, so great, why the jivas are not seeking it, not trying it, नहीं raising it? Because सुख दुखों के जंजाट में फंसे हुए हैं. सुख चाहते हैं, दुख छोड़ते हैं. सुख को पाने के लिए कुछ करते हैं, दुख को भगाने के लिए कुछ करते हैं. सुख दुख में ही फंसे हैं, अतीत में जा नहीं पा रहे हैं. That's the literal meaning of this shloka. Sukham avriyate nityam, dukkam vivriyate sada, yasya kasya च धर्मस्य. यस्य कस्य धर्मस्य means कभी भी किसी भी हाल के हर एक जीव को कोई कोई न वस्तु व्यक्ति के विषय में ही फंसे रहना हो रहा है. इसलिए भगवान असौ सुखान आव्रियते दुखेन विव्रियते. यस्य कस्य च धर्मस्य means what? Dharma means you are the objects of three planes of the experience of all sorts. जागृत में जागर रूपी शब्द स्पर्श रूप रसगंध. स्वप्न में भी स्वप्न में रहने वाले शब्द रसगंध. एंड इवन जागृत स्वप्न आल्सो along with शब्द स्पर्श रूप रसगंध we have emotions. That also dharma, object. We want love, we want praise, we want respect. We want our ego should be satiated or propitiated. These are all called dharmas. स्थूल वस्तु सर शब्द स्पर्श रूप रसगंध. सूक्ष्म आर द इमोशनल एक्सपीरियंस. और सूक्ष्म क्या है? बौद्धिक रिकॉग्नाइजेशंस. यू आर इंटेलिजेंट, यू आर वाइज, यू आर स्मार्ट, यू आर ग्रेट. दिस आर ऑल धर्म. कुछ न कुछ धर्म को पकड़े ही रहते हैं हम, जिस कारण से कुछ न कुछ जागतिक अनुभव में फंसे रहते हैं. एंड थ्रू सुख एंड दुख, दीज आर ढकोफाइंग योर ओन सेल्फ. दे आर कवरिंग यू. सुखम आवृयते, दुःखम विव्रियते. Vivriyate means takes us away from self. Sukha is attracting us, the dukkha is distracting us from the self. This attraction and distraction are becoming covers. सब इसी में फंसे. यही माया है, यही मोह है. ये माया मोह जानते भी नहीं, वो भी माया है. Only when you are at the feet of a guru and spend sufficient lives, in each life sufficient years and decades, that slowly these things get registered in our understanding. तब जाकर हम तीनों अवस्थाएं, तीन देह, तीन उपाधियां और तीन भावों को पार करके फोर्थ तुरीय अवस्था में जाने की इच्छा और समझदारी और प्रयत्न कर कर पहुंच जाते. This is about everybody in the world, and you are also, we are not exception. उपाधि, उपाधि धर्म, उपाधि limitations, उपाधि से मिलने वाले सुख. Because we are caught up in them throughout life, like that, so many lives are that we are covering our own self. That is what is covering self. This is the meaning of this shloka. Now, what Bhashyakara says, little only we see. Yasmad. This is the Yasmad, this is the Karana. Yasya kasyachit dvaya vastunaha. Yasya kasya means dvaya vastunaha. Something other than the me, the self. Dharmasya. Dharma means yasya kasya dvaya vastu. Anything other than the self is dvaya vastu. That called as dharma either. So yasya kasya dharmasya means yasya kasya means some or the other dvaya vastunaha. Grahena. What is grahena? Grahana aveshena. We are overpowered by the desire and insistence of holding on to some or the other vastu, stula roop mein as well as sukshma roop. Not able to leave it in the world outside, not we are able to leave it in the mind, from the mind. Grahana aveshena. No, I am telling you, these mantra is so exhaustive, so elaborate, so deep. In another way, I tell you, without any of the Shabda Sparsha Rasa Gandha, we are not able to control our senses only. उनके बिना हम रह ही नहीं सकते. So to without some or the other emotion, some or the thought of an object, we are not able to live. Mind you, when Shabda Sparsha Rasa are dropped, thoughts are dropped. Neither Indriyas are there, nor Antakarana is there, nor the abode of Indriya and Antakarana called as Deha is there, nor the owner of Deha is there. What is there is Paramatma. लेकिन हम छोड़ नहीं पा रहे उसको. That's called Grahana Avesha. Grahana means Grahana Aveshena. Grahana Avesha. हम छोड़ ही नहीं पा रहे बाबा, छोड़ ही नहीं सक रहे, छोड़ने का चाहते ही नहीं है. Remember, that means what? The desire and effort and achievement of dropping all of them is called meditation. Desire of dropping, effort of dropping, achievement of dropping of every vastu, everything which we are holding on. What are the things we hold? Only three. Intellectually, concepts, psychologically, the emotions, and outside perceptions. Perceptions are 5 with variety. Shabda, Sparsha, Rasagandha. Grahana Avesha. Like a drunkard or a drug addict feels that his life is empty and he'll die without the drugs. Therefore, he wants them again and again. And he doesn't understand it is better to die rather than being a drug addict. उसको समझ में नहीं आएगा बार. You understand that we also are addicts. We have the addict of the grahanam. We feel that we die without them. Therefore, to be alive and surviving, we go on fulfilling our addictions. And who is the one who is thinking that he will die without them, therefore got addicted? Called as Jiva. What should he do then? He should drop all the addictions and should really die. This Jiva. When this Jiva dies, then only Paramatma is alive or experienced. But are we ready for that self-suicide? Are you ready for the suicide? Then only the realization of self. The realization of self is committing suicide of Jiva Bhava. By scorching him, torturing him, drying him. How? By eliminating all the things because of which he is sustaining. And what is the thing he is sustaining with? All the grahanas. Grahana means holdings. He is holding on intellectual ideas, psychological emotions, perceptions. And तड़प रहा है कि मैं इनके बिना जी नहीं सकता हूं. उस थॉट को छोड़ना है कि इनके बिना जीना नहीं सकता हूं. अलग बात है, इनके कारण ही मैं आत्मा को जान नहीं पा रहा हूं. No, these are all what I am saying is a dramatization of an expression of a baddha jiva. So understand all the three. One, how a drug addict addicts himself and feels he cannot live without that. He is ready to die consuming them. He can't live. So too, we are addicted to the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha of the Indriyas in the waking plane. All the emotions in the mind, all concepts, ideas, intellectual. No, I'm not explaining exhaustively what do you mean by concepts. Concept that I am individual, I am qualified, I am intelligent, I am Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya. You are all concepts. Then the world is real, world is good or beautiful, beautiful. I need the world. All these are concepts. None of them are realities. But we are caught up in those concepts. So remember, without that we cannot be alive. This is what we are in a notion, and it is true. Because of them only I am alive as a bandha jiva. Baddha jiva. That's how spirituality means suicide only. Suicide of jiva limited bhava. एंड दैट इज पॉसिबल प्रैक्टिकली व्हेन ऑल लाइक ए पर्सन कमिट सुसाइड भाई क्यों क्योंकि कुछ कुछ है ही नहीं है कोई ना दोस्त है ना मदद करने वाला है ना सुख मिलने वाली चीज है ही फाइंड्स देयर इज नो हेल्प फॉर हिम टू सर्वाइव देयरफॉर ही कमिट सुसाइड so too a jiva suicide is that which sustains this jiva bhava when all of them are removed or cut then he commits suicide then in the commitment of suicide of the jiva is the birth or awakening of the real self. No, I'm using this language very carefully, sensitively, having confidence in you people that you rightly understand it. डोंट अंडरस्टैंड अच्छा इसका अर्थ क्या है स्वामी जी ने कहा खुद आत्महत्या करेंगे और हमको भी उन्होंने कहा करो ऐसा करके खत्म मत होना यार है ये 5-10 लोग आप दिस इज नॉट द आइडिया डोंट डू ऑल दोज फनी थिंग्स प्लीज डोंट कंक्लूड दैट वे मेरे को करेक्ट करना पड़ता है इसको इसलिए कुछ कुछ एग्जाम्पल देने को मजा आता है लेकिन आप उसको कैसे लेते हो वो समझ नहीं आता डर लगता है दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ईयर यस्य कस्य च धर्मस्य ग्रहणेन ग्रह आवेशेन सुखमाव्रियते दुःखम विव्रियते again in another layman's language what is that real self which is ananda swarupa is either covered by sukha or covered by dukkha. Sukha dukkha why they are continuously coming and covering the atma because yasya karsya dharmasya grahanena or grahana aveshena because he is not able to drop some or the other dharmas all the time. Dharma of the buddhi are concepts, dharma of the mana are the emotions and imagination projections, dharma of the indriyas are the shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha. And देह का धर्म क्या है ओल्ड एज डिसीज जेंडर ऑल ऑफ देम आर उसको कुछ न कुछ हमेशा पकड़ के रखता है पकड़ने से उसे सुख मिल रहा है या दुख मिल रहा है therefore through the upadhi I am becoming sukhi and dukhi therefore I am not realizing my ananda swarupa. So myself Ananda Swarupa is hidden beneath my own becoming Sukhi Dukhi because of my own holding on to Dharma of my own Upadhis of Dehindra Manobuddhyadi. Then all these covers when you dismantle, self is discovered. That's called as sadhana. And that is achieved through Viveka and Vairagya, Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, finally the Jnana Yoga. In the Jnana Marga, the Shastra's authority, then the logic, then the explanations, then practically doing the doable sadhanas. ये सब मिलकर उस ढक्कन को निकाल देंगे फिर वो ढका हुआ परमात्मा रिवील हो जाएगा और ढके हुए परमात्मा के ढक्कन कौन है हम ही है इसलिए कोई कोई बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में अरे ढक्कन इधर आ जा इट्स ट्रू वी आर द ढक्कन आई द जीवा इज अ ढक्कन हु इज ढकिंग द सेल्फ इन मी why they say ढक्कन I don't know but I imagine that it has no meaning other than covering that beautiful liquid which is there in the cool drink bottle and to drink that cool drink this fellow the ढक्कन is removed and thrown also. That is the meaning of a person. You are a dhakkan means you are no use of you. Only when you are removed, I will be happy. That's why it's called a dhakkan. The jiva is a real dhakkan who is continuously becoming miserable and between those two miseries, a little gap he thinks is as a sukha and he runs for it. and is covering the Atmananda. So yasmad yasya kasyachit dvayavastunah dharmasya grahana aveshena means mithya abhinivishtataya. Because of mithya abhinivesha or the wrong concept, wrong identification, सुखम आव्रियते. व्हाट इज सुखम आव्रियते हियर? सुख मिलता है और सुख आत्मा को ढकता है. दैट इज वन मीनिंग. Sukha is experienced and that covers the blissful self. Another is what? Because of our this abhinivesha, Sukha means effortlessly, avriyate is covered. Means what? Anayasena achyadyate tyartaha. Effortlessly, without much struggle, easily the self is covered. Now, this interpretation, Bhashyakara makes it more simple to understand with the next sentence. What he says, कि द्वया उपलब्धि निमित्तम ही तत्र आवरणम न यत्नांतरम अपेक्षते. Means what? Just have belief in the presence of some dvaita, something other than the self. Just have belief in the presence of. Have belief in the presence of some dvaita. It is enough. Advaita Atma is covered. So easy it is to cover it. Sukham avriyate is aram se easily, effortlessly, the real self is covered. Just because of imagination of some dvaita. That's it. Sukham avriyate. इतने आसान से आत्मा ढक रहा है. क्या आसानी है? द्वैत का आप एक्सेप्ट करो, काफी. समथिंग एग्जिस्टिंग मानो, बस परमात्मा ढक गया. सांप है, बस इतना मानो, रस्सी ढक गया. आई एम टेलिंग मोर इन हिंदी today because the subject is so beautiful. Hindi and Telugu and Sanskrit only it can be touchingly explained. Sukham avriyate. So, dvaya उपलब्धि निमित्तम ही तत्र आवरणम न यत्नांतरम अपेक्षित. और कुछ करने, no need to do any other effort also to cover the self. You say Dvaita is there, enough that the Advaita is covered. Nothing else to be done also for that. Sukham avriyate. No, this meaning which Shankara is giving is to be felt by fully applying your intellect to catch what he is saying. That means the self is so bashful, so shying, so innocent, so feels itself simple that a dvaya you imagine it is getting covered. Like in those good old times, when a sound of a person coming is heard, all the women folk of the home they cover themselves. Sukham avriyate. किसी का साउंड आते ही कोई भी हो, फर्स्ट थिंग दे डू कौन है जानते हैं. Then they know if the children hai, a husband hai, then they express who are they. If it is known anybody other, maybe even father is, anybody else other hai, तो वो ढक कर ही उनसे बात भी नहीं करते. वो नहीं है कह देते. Another example that of tortoise. The tortoise little sound is heard, enough for it, sukham avriyate, it folds all its four legs and head and tail inside the shell. Feel the meaning of the examples. In the same way, simple thing called as imagination of some dvaya vastu is enough to cover the self. If an imagination of a dvaya is covering the self, then how much strong is the covering of the self? When this dvaya is of millions of varieties, they are given so much of value, so much of importance, they are taken as reality, and towards them when we have so much of emotional attachment of raga and dvesha, and so strongly we are living in this dvaya, अब imagine करो कितना वो ढका होगा वो. द्वैत का भान से ही अद्वैत आत्मा कवर होता है. तो इस द्वैत जगत को आप रियल बनाकर कितने इसमें इंडल्जेंट में हो रहा हो, तो हाउ मच वो ढका होगा. In other words, therefore, to reveal that self, how much we have to put effort to remove all the insistence of Dvaita till the final thought of the Dvaita acceptance also is dropped, then only Advaita is revealed. That is the meaning he is trying to convey. It's a very subtle and strong thought. Huh? You have to be very conscious to accept it, understand it. So, Sukham Avriyate. Aram se, just you do the concept of Advaita, Advaita is covered. No, but you are doing so many added coverings. Second is dukkham cha vivriyate. Even dukkha also is covering. However, prakati kriyate paramartha jnanasya durlabhatvat. I am pausing to search words and sentences to explain this inexplicable second aspect. What is second one? Dukkham vivriyate sada. See, the literal meaning is so simple. Sukha dukkha is atma ko ढक रहे. That's the actual fact. But the Bhashyakara and Karikakara talking about it is in a different manner, subtle manner. Sukamavrita means little of Dvaita, imagine you karo, effortlessly Advaita Atma is covered. So to Dukkham Vivriyate means what? One meaning is Dukkham is covering the self. That's an obvious meaning, anybody can understand. But the deeper meaning is what? Atma is Ananda Swarup. But Atma Anubhava is very difficult to achieve. Because it is difficult to achieve, it's not being achieved. Because it is not achieved, you are becoming dukhi. And that dukkha is also covering. That's what is in. Dukkham vivriyate means prakati kriyate paramatma jnanasya durlabhatvat. सुख स्वरूप परमात्मा दुर्लभ होने के कारण, सुख नहीं मिलने के कारण, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होने के कारण, दुखी होने के कारण दुख भी उसको ढक रहा है. So sukha dukkha is explained here as easily and difficultly. Easily covered because you are doing abhas of the Dvaita. Difficulty is covering because the getting of Atma is made difficult by you. Getting of Atma is made difficult by you. That difficulty is called as dukkha here. That dukkha is covering the self. And why did we make the Atma Jnanam difficult? Because of so many avarnas we added by giving value to the Dvaita Jagat. Now, pictorially, it is like that. Guru is here, we disciples are here. Guru is here, we are in. Tug of war is going on. What tug of war? Tug of war is drastic. What Guru is trying to do is, he is trying to take away Sukha Dukkha from us and give Atmanand. Imagine pictorially. We are not allowing the Guru to take away the Sukha Dukkha. Therefore, he is not able to give the Atmananda to us. That is the meaning here. And how is it taking away the Sukha Dukkha from us? By taking away the Upadita Adatmya from us. And how we are not allowing him to take away Sukha Dukkha? We are not giving up Upadita Adatmya. Problem kya hai? As long till he takes away Sukha Dukkha from us, he cannot give the Atmananda. We are not allowing him to take away Sukha Dukkha because Upadis we are not allowing him to take away. How can he give the Ananda then? That is the struggle is going on. You can say it as Guru or Shastra or Paramatma. They are saying, बेटा उपाधियां दे दो, मैं आत्मानंद देता हूं. हम कहते हैं दे नहीं सकते. वो कहते हैं फिर हम भी दे नहीं सकते. पैसे दो टिकट देंगे. मैं पैसे नहीं दूंगा तो टिकट नहीं दूंगा. You understand the feeling of it? You feel it? सुखम आविरेते नित्यम दुखम विवरेते सदा यस्य कस्य धर्मस्य भगवान असौ ग्रहेण भगवान असौ. फंसे हुए जिंदगी भर इसी में. Some more things are there here. Bhagavan asau atma advayaha devaha idyartha. Bhagavan means this self atma, which is one without second, is covered by this sukha dukkha because of the upadhi we are holding on. Ataha, that is why Vedantai, with all the Shastras, Acharyai, by all our Gurus, Bahushaha Uchamanaha me. Bahuprakare, hundreds and thousands of ways, even that they are speaking to us, Naiva Gnatum Shakya Ityartaha, that it is becoming difficult for us to understand and experience the Atma Vastu. And Acharya Vakta Kushalosya Labda itu Shrutehe. Even the Shastra also spoke that Vakta is Acharya to talk on the self, and the one who listens and understands he is also very tough about the self. This is how these mantras settle it. मजेदार, मुझे तो मजा आया पढ़ने में, समझने में, एक्सप्लेन करने में. How you caught it or not, it is in your hands. I, my own real self, I myself am covering by continuing to become the jiva through identification of the upadhi, through which I am caught up in the sukha dukkha vyavahara. Therefore, the one who devalues sukha dukkha by samatha, the one who devalues the upadhis by knowing they are mithya arthi dukkha karana, and the one by who values, devalues even jiva also, knowing that his sustenance covers the self, the one who deviles the jiva by discovering his absence through bhakti and jnana, he alone can get revealed of the self. Such mananam chintanam hundreds of times we have to do. Through that only the essence comes to us as to what exactly therefore is the adhyatmic sadhana, where we reject the jiva dehad upadhi and discover our atmanubhuti. इसके लिए लगाना पड़ता है दिल और दिमाग दिन और रात. Further, you have to drop all these vyavahara. That's why sarvadharman parityaja. Go and sit few lives only. See some great bhaktas and jnanis stories when we listen. 3-4 जन्मों में उनको मुक्ति मिलता है. सो 3-4 जन्म ऐसे महाभक्त ज्ञानियों को लगा तो ऐसे संसारी बेवकूफ with so many vasanas we are. How many lives of effort we have to put to realize we must know it. Then we have to have the willingness. We have to start doing it. Dheere dheere our capacity we have to add, increase. Never give up, never become demoralized, never feel it is impossible. On the other hand, the more, like in the Ukrainian president, the more he is losing, the more he is becoming stronger, the more he is becoming committed. The more, that's how we have to become sadhaka. हर एक मुश्किलात को हमें पॉजिटिव बनाना है. हर एक इम्पॉसिबिलिटी को हमें इंस्पिरेशन के रूप में लेना है. You understand? That's so called as the jiva, the jiva is becoming sadhaka. Samsara is becoming sadhaka. हो जाए कुछ भी, फिर भी मैं नहीं छोड़ूंगा, और भी करूंगा, और भी. ऐसे जो हौसला हिम्मत होता है वही स्पिरिचुअलिटी में आगे बढ़े. The one who gives up sadhana for little of difficulty, the one who runs away into the world with little of temptation, ऐसे बंदे लाखों जन्म भी लगे उसको एक श्लोक भी समझ में नहीं आएगा, उसको शोक में ही रहना पड़ता. These are all not there in the Bhashya or any Karika. We are adding to it. Because we are at this level of our difficulty. पार करो उसको तभी जो वहां बता रहे उसको हम समझ सकते. सो इसका अर्थ मैं अपने लिए बोल रहा हूँ. यू, इट्स नॉट फॉर यू. सो डोंट मिसअंडरस्टैंड मी. मैं अपने लिए कह रहा हूँ वेरी क्लियर. मैं क्या करूँ, अरे बेवकूफ, जो ये सुख दुख के पीछे इतना फंसे हो through the vastu and vyakti and vishya with the identity of upadhis, how will you realize yourself? You are so easily ducking yourself. Ducking is easy, but removing is very tough. Easy बनाया अपने आप को भटकना, ठगना और ढकना, और उस ढक्कन को निकालना इतना मुश्किल है और उसको तुम कर ही नहीं रहे हो. Then when will and how will you realize it? होगा ही नहीं तुमको. मतलब उपनिषद पढ़ना कष्ट है, नहीं पढ़ना आसान है. तो आसान से पढ़ने को छोड़ रहे हो तो कष्ट कहाँ करना है तुमको पढ़ने का? तो वो कष्ट करोगे तभी समझ में आएगा ना. Easily I am becoming non-spiritual. Then how can I do the difficult thing of becoming spiritual? Unless I do the difficult thing, how will I realize? That is the load. और अस्ति नास्ति अस्ति वाला श्लोक और बढ़िया ट्विस्टिंग है. टुमारो विल सी. Okay, these will stop here. Just chant the shlokas. अस्ति नास्ति इति नास्ति नास्ति इति वा पुनः चलस्थिरो भयाभावैरावृणोत्येव बालिशः कोट्यश्चतस्र एतास्तु ग्रहैर्यासां सदा वृतः भगवान् आविरस्पृष्टः येन दुष्टसर्वदृको विप्राणामिनो हेषः शमप्राकृत उच्यते दमप्रकृतिदान्तत्वात् एवं विद्वान् शमं व्रजेत् सवस्तु सोपलम्बं च द्वयं लौक्यमिष्यते अवस्तु सोपलम्बं च शुद्धं लौक्यमिष्यते अवस्तनुपलम्बं च लोकोत्तरमिति स्मृतं ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च विज्ञेयं सदा बुद्धैः प्रकीर्तितं ज्ञाने च त्रिविधे ज्ञेये क्रमेण वीते स्वयं सर्वज्ञता हि सर्वत्र भवति ह महादियः हेतु हेयज्ञेयाप्यपाक्यानि हेयज्ञेयाप्यपाक्यानि विज्ञेयान्यज्ञेयाणतः तेषामन्यत्र विज्ञेयात् उपलम्बस्तु स्मृतः प्रकृत्याकाशवज्ञेयाः सर्वे धर्मानादयः विद्यते न हि नानात्वं तेषां क्वचन किञ्चन अदति बुद्धा प्रकृत्यैव सर्वे धर्मा सुनिश्चिताः यस्यैवं भवति क्षान्तिः सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते. These are all double PhD level श्लोकास. I am trying it because एक बार हो गया है, फिर कब पढ़ेंगे मैंने नहीं पता. तो इसलिए जब पढ़ रहे तभी दम लगाकर पढ़ना और एक एक श्लोक आगे बढ़ ही रहा है. That's how we started from श्लोका 1. सिर्फ अभी 20 ही श्लोक हैं तो 195 श्लोक हम देख चुके हैं 215 में along with the 12 mantras. So completion of text anyway happening, so don't be concerned about that. How much we are able to dwell or delve in that shloka, that's important. And this portion is ultimate one from every corner, every angle and every such point. Therefore, I to feel that Bhashya, at least 5% I should be able to understand, 1% I should be able to explain to you. That's what is my commitment. पूरा तो नहीं हो सकता. अब उतना तो तृप्ति हो जाए कि हम मेहनत किए हैं. The joy is in putting effort, and I am enjoying that effort. The how much understood, how much practiced, how much I am explaining to, how much I am myself experiencing it, it's all subjects that depend. We need not worry about them. Thank you. Om 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 ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परमऋषिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. मंडूकमहर्षिये नमः. गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय नमः. आद्यशंकरसद्गुरवे नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. तत्सत्. ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Thank you. 10 minutes we'll spend in our committed study of Vidura Niti.